Hey, awesome people. Mr. C here with another fractions video. Make sure if you learn anything new at all, click that like and subscribe button. Join us as we continue making math understandable and challenging. This video, we are going to be working on multiplying fractions, and the overarching theme is applying and extending previous understandings of multiplication to multiply a fraction by a whole number. But before we can get to all that, this is the practice problems video for what does fraction multiplication look like. We are going to be helping you understand what that repeated addition looks like and how that relates to multiplication. All right. Before we get started, there is also in the description below, you'll find all of our fractions videos for second grade, third grade, and fourth grade. You'll also find mixed numbers there. Parents, teachers, also in the description, there is 2 IXL links, one for a 7-day free trial and another for a 20% off annual or monthly membership to an awesome program called IXL. I've used it in my classroom. I'm a huge supporter of it. It's a great tool for students to get independent practice and to be able to track their learning. So check that out. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I highly recommend it. With all that being said, let's do a couple practice problems together. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, growth mindset. Make sure you have one. Growth mindset means that we are looking to challenge ourselves. We use our mistakes to help us get better. We're asking questions and we're not giving up. Just because you can't do something, that means that you just can't do it yet. Yet is the key word. So let's get started. Got a couple problems for us. We are practicing seeing the multiplication, okay? Before we can actually solve multiplication by fractions, we need to understand what it actually looks like. And to do that, we need to understand what repeated addition is and how that becomes multiplication. So let's do that. So we've got the fraction 2/4 on the screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a model. So go ahead and draw a model. Again, this is the practice problems video, so if you missed the teaching video, it is linked in the description below, so check that out. Here we go. I've got my model drawn here. I need to color in 2 of the 4, so let me do so. There's 1/4. There is 2/4. And again, I'm going to label what each of these represent. That represents a 4th. This represents a 4th. So we know in order to get 2/4, the way we're figuring that out is we're technically doing 1/4 plus 1/4. That's how we're solving it. To get 2/4, we're adding these two fractions together, 1/4 and 1/4. But another way to do that, repeated addition, is the same thing as multiplication. So what we can do is we can multiply to get 2/4. And to do that, there's 2 different ways you could multiply. The first way is to represent what does each of these sections represent. This section here and this section, they each represent a 4th. So we've got 1/4 times what? Well, my question is, how many of those 4ths are we adding together? We're adding together 2 of those 4ths. Here's 1/4 and there's another 4th. That's 2 of them. So 1/4 times 2 is the same thing as 1/4 plus 1/4. Also, how many sections do we have? We have 2 sections. How much is each of those sections? What does each section represent? Each of those represents a 4th. Both of these multiplication expressions equal this right here, all right, because repeated addition is the same thing as multiplication. All right, again, I'm not going to show you exactly how to multiply just yet. I want to make sure you understand where we're getting this, so when we work on these problems in our next videos, you can say, okay, now I'm understanding this is the same thing as repeated addition, Mr. C. I'm following along with you. Okay, so again, 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 2/4. And you can also multiply it to get the same exact answer, okay? Again, ask yourself, where did this 1/4 here come from? Where did this 2 come from? Mr. C, how did we get 2 times 1/4? How did we flip it? Ask yourself those questions. Rewatch this one, but then I want you to try this next one with us because I think it's really, really going to help. So try this next one with me. Second problem on the screen here. Here we go. We've got 5, 6. So let's go ahead and represent 5, 6 as our fractional part. So draw your model, break it into 6 equal size sections. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to color in 5 out of the 6 to represent 5, 6. There's 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, and 5 6. Here we go. All right. So again, each of these pieces, these equally sized pieces, represents 1 6. And what we're technically doing to get the answer of 5 6 is we're taking 1 6 and we're repeatedly adding 1 6 each time. 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 1 6. So that is what we're doing with that repeated addition. And our goal is to understand, well, what does that look like if we were to write that in multiplication expression? So to do that, we are taking 1 6 and we are multiplying that by how many? How many 1 6 are we multiplying it by? Well, we're going to do 1 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would be one of our expressions, 1 6 times 5. The other way you could say it is how many sections do we have that we have represented here out of this whole? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 times each section represents 1 6, and there you go. Again, either of these multiplication expressions still represents repeated addition. Okay, it's still going to represent this repeated addition. And again, we're going to talk about it a little bit more later on when we're talking about, what does this look like when we have 1 6 times 5? Like, what does this multiplication kind of look like? And we're going to show you all that kind of breaks down. But this here is just kind of giving you an intro as to what to expect when we have 5 6. Okay, so I want to show you another one, so stick with me here. So now we've got 3/8, and I'm going to draw a model for 3/8. I'm going to try a circle out this time. So here is my model. Need to break it into 8 equal size pieces, and we're going to color in 3 of those. So give me a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. All right, coloring in 3 out of the 8. So there's 1/8. Here is 2/8, and here is 3/8. All right, so what we have here is we have 1/8, 1/8, and 1/8. And to represent this as addition, this would be 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. And if we wanted to represent this repeated addition as multiplication, a way that we could write this would be, we've got 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be multiplying 3 sections, 1, 2, 3, times 1/8. Okay, and again, my goal here is just for you to be able to see kind of what we're going to be talking about, because before we start actually multiplying these types of problems here, what's going to happen is I want to make sure you can see what we're talking about. Okay, so again, I just think that's really important. In our next videos, we're going to kind of get into it a little bit more and get you to that next level of understanding and kind of build from there. All right, so couple of things. If you missed the teaching video, it is in the description. Check it out. Parents, teachers, in the description below, there is an IXL code, an IXL link for a free 7-day trial and a 20% off your annual or monthly membership. IXL is an awesome program I've used in my classroom. I highly recommend it. It's a great way for students to practice independently for 15 or 20 minutes a day and for them to be able to track their progress. So check those out. As always, ladies and gentlemen, if you learn anything new, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. Join us as we continue making math understandable and challenging. That's all I have for you today. Mr. C, out.